well.
Yeah, I guess that'd be available. All right, well, welcome to Scripts, and my name is Roger Martinez. There's a middle initial R that you'll always see on my name tag. Basically, the reason that I'm here hosting the sessions is because I'm in my first year with Keller, and I've only sold just over $1 million in homes so far, and I need to, of course, quadruple that. You know, that's you know, it's people who don't know real estate, that might sound like something, but those of us who know real estate, it's like, yeah, just $1 million in homes, is it? You know. So in any case, one of the things that Gary, of course, pointed out in the book Shift, on page 89, he said, either your ability will cause a meeting to take place, or your lack of ability will prevent it. This isn't a game of chance, but a game of scripts and systems. And so that's one of the things I wanted to do today, was to go over all of the scripts. Now, one of the things that I was going to do for the students is first make sure that you have your time blocking done for the month. We were fortunate enough to meet with Gary at the LAX Hilton just recently, and Gary pointed out, have your scripts together and time block during an entire month's period of time. That way you see your month in perspective. And so that's what I can send to each one of you as my time blocking for the month of May. I do it 1 or 2 days before the month begins, so that way I have a focused program, because one of the things that I want to do, and Gary said that there are a lot of agents simply doing it, is to within 5 years get to netting $1 million every single annually, because and they say once you get to your first $1 million, getting to the second $1 million is simple. Getting to the third $1 million is easier. Getting to the fourth $1 million is fine. And really, for me, one of my big whys is that I'm doing real estate because I'm writing comedy, and I want to have my films taken to theaters. And if Warner Brothers doesn't pick me up in 5 years, I'll film the thing myself. I'll fund it myself. So that's, you know, and I'm really enjoying real estate, you know. So when I first sold my first home, you know, I stood in front of a Food for Less with flyers, and I was just meeting people coming out of the grocery store, because I figured they're going to be in a decent mood. You know, you got all your good food you're going to take home, and you're, you know, going to be able to enjoy all the food. And so I did it, and I met a nurse who works locally, and she had 2 kids, and we got her into her first 4-bedroom home, and I was really excited about it. But I want to quadruple, like I say, my numbers. So the scripts is the way that Gary says to do it. Now, here at our office, we have these, and these are just these are over 700 pages. And what I was going to have you guys do is I was going to create this for you, put it in a duffel bag, and have you carry it. And every time you learn one of the scripts, you just take that page out, and it'll get lighter and lighter as time goes on. Well, of course, that's quite impractical, but it makes a point, doesn't it? All you need is a flash drive. One of these, or your hard drive, I can send you the scripts, and what I want to do with this particular session is to have you choose 2 areas, whether it's, you know, listing presentation or whether it's working with buyers. Just pick 2 of them, because we have scripts, and I'm going to go over these, what we have, I mean, just to give you an idea of the volume of issues that are raised. Let me read this to you real quickly.
Well, you're looking for that. I'll interject one thing too. If during any conversation with a client, or you're getting prepared for something and you need a script and you come to me, I typically can get through that book pretty quickly and help you find it, pull out 3 or 4 ideas, and then you can look at them and decide which ones you want to use too. So that's available as well.
Now, we have, just in these 2 books alone, here's some of the topics. And that's why today was an overview as opposed to tomorrow's interaction, where we'll actually be role-playing. We have expired listings, which are objections to hiring an agent or a realtor. We have FSBOs. The topics are driving by a FSBO home, your first call to a FSBO, touring a FSBO, following up with FSBOs, objections to hiring a realtor, and common objections. Then under general objections, there's people who are Keller who, because we know Keller because it's Gary Keller. He's going to be a billionaire this year. He's the boss. But a lot of people don't know us, you know, and so it's meeting them because we're out there knocking on doors and making phone calls, just like Shorewood's doing, just like Remax is doing, just like Century 21 is doing. I mean, we got 8,000 other competitors out there, so we want to separate ourselves and, of course, make ourselves different in that respect. People would say, hey, well, you're not a relocation expert. Quick responses to objections on the phone, cold calling, geographic farms, door knocking, canvassing, touring a new home site, soliciting building referrals, working with the builder's 3 primary areas of need, following up with the builder after closing, open houses, identifying listing opportunities. And again, these are all scripts that we have, so it's a lot. So if you just pick out 2 that you really want to focus on, let's start there is my idea. The other ones are interacting with open house attendees, referrals, asking for referrals, warm lead from referrals, educating the buyer on area and properties, taking a relocation family on a home tour, leads from lenders, leads from moving and storage companies, building relationships, etc. And the list goes on. These are all scripts that we have for these things, which is great. You know, that the mega agents have already put this stuff together, and so it's wonderful. We're able to glean and take advantage of that. And also, I'm going to show you where on the internet you can actually download like the listing and the buying scripts that you want to take a look at. But here's the one other thing that we don't want to do, is allow it to take up too much of your time. Because you want to get good at it, but like they say, the quality will come from the quantity, from the amount of actually speaking with people. So, you know, we'll spend 30 minutes in the morning, we'll do some interacting, some role playing, some discussion on the areas that we want to do, and instead of just me picking out an idea, I'd like you each to email me what areas you'd like us to focus on for your particular business that you're going to be doing that day. As you can see from my time blocking, you know, I'm going by the 10-4, so that's where I'm coming from and utilizing that. Now, on the handout that I gave you, there are 2 things that you can take great advantage of. Obviously, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent is our main book. And I'm on my 3rd time reading it because, as he points out in this book, Warren Buffett, he read his model's book 13 times, and obviously when you read something over and over again, you glean something from it each time that's significant to the time that you're reading it. That's what I found. And also from Shift, in respect to scripts. There's a lot of good stuff in here on scripts, and we'll be going over that in the next weeks. And you get it for free on audible.com. You go on the free 30-day trial, and you get to download these books. I listen to them when I'm driving. I listen to them when I'm cooking food. I listen to them when I'm, you know, either going to exercise or, I mean, there's just, you can listen to them in the morning when you're getting up and getting ready, or maybe when you're going to sleep. And it's, you know, because sitting down and reading is great, but how much easier is it just to listen to it, and then you stop on a point where you want to write it down and say, I'm going to use that in tomorrow's, you know, canvassing or your listing presentation or whatever that we have. So I'd like you guys to definitely spend some time. If we have to do it tomorrow morning, that'll be fine, because we're down to 12 minutes here. I was going to actually take us to the computers, but we can do that first thing tomorrow, because I want you guys to download these and have it in your toolbox. And I will, in 2 weeks, have us sit down again at the computers and cancel the memberships for those who want to cancel it. For those who want to continue, that's an option that you have. But this isn't going to cost you anything, and you're going to get both these books on full audio, which is great. You just put it on a CD, listen to it in your car, or wherever. So that's one of the resources. Then also, under number 2, by logging into our kw.com, you type in scripts in the search, it's going to give you all these scripts. The catalog, volume 1, working with buyers. Catalog number 2, working with sellers. It's going to give you the videos, because they have videos of these Scripts Matters. There's also Ignites on there too, which is of course going to be taught, so you can just download it. Like I say, you know, having paper is good, but how much easier just to have it on your laptop or your computer. So essentially, so number 4 is just my email address. That way you can just email me with what your areas are that you'd like to focus on. That way I can make sure to, you know, hone those for you and send you the ones that that I have, because I have all of these on PDF as well as the ones that are up here. So that's going to be for everybody who'd like to be able to utilize this service. And so other than going to the computer and sitting down and doing that, would you like to add anything?
I guess probably really just, I'm trying to think of what I want to add. I think, what do you guys have questions about? What are your needs and the purpose for wanting to come to this class and learn how to do the scripts better?
Okay. I really want to focus on moving it into the luxury area.
Good.
And so I know that's a different caliber of client and different scripts that need to be used. I haven't seen them anywhere.
Okay.
So I really need to beef that up.
Okay, good, good.
That's nice. Yeah, I do plan on going luxury as well. I just thought I'd get my feet wet again.
Great.
Here's that.
Great.
Just basics, so I don't stumble on words, and a refresher course basically on listing presentations.
One thing my coach shared with me, and I'll share with you guys, because it does seem overwhelming, all the different scripts that you could actually choose from. Just learn and internalize maybe 3 objection handlers for every scenario, right? So when you go through the scripts, what objections are you going to have with your sellers? And then internalize 2 or 3 objection handlers for each one of those, because at the end of the day, every seller you sit down with, you're probably going to have 2 or 3 of the same objections. You're never going to have more than 5 objections that are going to come at you from any one seller. Same with buyers, same with your lead generation. If you're focusing on expireds, it's going to be the same sort of thing. So if you focus just on internalizing and memorizing and then creating and making it your own, 2 or 3 of those, then you're probably going to be really set. And then as you use them over and over again, then they just become part of your second nature.
That was a really good point, is that we're all going to be able to utilize our personalities, our vernacular, our colloquialisms, the thing that we have when we interact with people just naturally. But I had a salesperson meet me here at the office just recently, and they had a product, but it was so scripted. It was just, I felt like,
Wasn't natural.
oh, come on, exactly. There was nothing natural about it at all.
And that'll happen at first.
Yeah.
You know, so we want to get way past that.
Yeah, and the best place is in here to do that.
Yeah, because you know, and the thing about it is scripts are exactly that. They feel unnatural, and that's what Gary says. He goes, listen, that's the point, is you got to get to be able to have that conversation, incorporating your own vernacular and what have you, but it needs to get way past the scripted point to where it's just a conversation that you need to have in order to get the deals closed. And so that's what we're definitely going to do. So it's because I remember I was in here, Jack and I, and there were a whole bunch of other students, and we were doing some role playing. And you know, the guy had asked me, well, how did I do? And this was the whole class was there, and I said, dude, you're just not right. It was just really bad, and I'm like, dude, it doesn't mean you can't get good, but you have to not be reading it. You know, it just has to be something that's internal and just comes out. So. You know, it's when I read these things, it does sound like, wait a minute, it's a bit robotic, but Gary points out, he goes, you'll get past that, you know, you'll get to where you can just have it as a normal conversation flow, and that way people can relate to you, because, you know, again, it's one of those things where I can talk to people for hours and all of that, and Gary says, that's going to eat up too much of your time. You need to get to closing the transactions. Because, you know, we're going to meet so many hundreds and potentially thousands of families that are going to move into homes. We won't have time to go to all of the birthdays and the anniversaries and the graduations. There's just going to be too many of them for you to be able to do that with everybody. So to have our scripts down to where we can professionally serve them, while at the same time maintaining, you know, our lives as well, you know, our relationships and friendships and what have you, is important. And that's why he points out that these are so important, is to have the understanding of where it needs to go. Anything beyond that you can engage in, but you know, just realizing how time consuming it can be, and to all depending on your goals, because again, mine is to have that million within 5 years. And so, all right. Well,
and I think for the luxury side of things, I think it's going to be in presentation. So in your presentation materials, how comfortable you are with the presentation and sitting down with the people, and how confident you are in talking about the market, those types of things, I think. And then with regard to presentation with luxury, if you're part of KW Luxury, then you get all of the marketing materials and everything that are luxury driven. So that will help you as well. But I think at the end of the day, it's all about presentation. And I know Ryan and I have been talking about him coming in and teaching Train the Presenter. And train the presenter is not only for you to learn how to stand up and teach a class, but it helps you in presentation. So when we do that, I would highly recommend taking that. And I took that when he taught it in Arizona as well, and he's really good at it. So my hope for this class is that we get a bigger group in here. And with the other thing that my coach told me with regard to learn 3 objection handlers for every scenario is then we would partner up with somebody and just randomly call each other, and it'd be like, hi Jackie, and then they'd throw out an objection, and then you just know it, right? And so it helps you. So then if you partner up with somebody and then you guys know that you're going to randomly throughout the week call each other and just throw an objection out there, it helps you get more comfortable with handling it just like on the spot, right? And so, so I'd love to do that as a group and get some more people in there so that we can kind of team up and help each other with that as well. Yeah, so that'll be fun. So we'll rally some more people here. Hopefully we'll have a big turnout tomorrow for the team meeting. We'll talk about it a little bit in there, and then when I get up to speed on getting emails and everything going, we'll get some more people in here and we'll get rolling.
I know a lot of times the email blast only goes out the day of or the morning of. Elise will post something that it should at least be a couple days.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, not to get off topic, but with classes, I do the same thing. So if we have something big coming up, I use Eventbrite and I just schedule it out for a couple of weeks, and it'll just like send automatically, and you guys will get notifications of things like that. So, yeah.
I also need help in the area of getting organized and setting up my database and everything. It's like starting a business from scratch.
Right, yeah.
And I feel like I've been out of the loop for a while, and technology is not my forte to begin with. So I feel like I'll get all the support I need here. I just need to ask.
Yeah.
Sure.
And now that you're here,
Yeah,
I'll be asking you a lot of questions.
Schedule some time with you.
Okay,
together. Yeah.
So why don't we do this for tomorrow? And because we have the freedom, of course, flexibility to do whatever we want. And obviously, the 4 of us here, luxury is going to be an issue. Why don't tonight because I'm working on a $4 million listing presentation that Jack and I are doing for a Manhattan Beach property. And so I'm working on that today. So I'll bring it in tomorrow morning and we can start with that.
Well, that'd be great.
Yeah, so that'd be a good starting point for that.
Yeah, and then we'll get some seller objections and scripts for the seller objections.
Perfect.